Now, let's take a closer look at the villain side. Unlike the hero player, the villain player doesn't choose a board for their characters, but instead has this real cool command post to rule them all. The most important part about the command post is the river, this area down here. The river is used to command your characters by activating their tiles. To activate a tile, the villain will have to spend an amount of energy cubes equal to its location in the river. So, the first tile in the river will cost you 1 energy cube to activate, as indicated on your command post here, while the third tile in the river will cost you 3 cubes to activate, and so on. Energy cubes spent in this manner are moved from your reserve zone to your fatigue zone, and any tile you activate is removed from its current location and placed at the end of the river, shifting all tiles to the left, which in turn decreases the activation cost of every other tile. The villain can activate up to 2 tiles per turn. When they do activate a tile, they are activating every character associated with that tile. And they can do so in any order they wish. But when you've moved on from activating one character to the next, there's no going back to assign actions to the previous character. So think your turn out carefully. Activated characters can move at the start and end of their activation. They can also attack and perform complex thought and manipulation actions, as long as those traits are indicated on the card's tile. So in short, an activated villain can move, perform an action, and move again. And just like the hero characters, villains also benefit from the move bonus, indicated here on their tile. The villain can also buy more move points for the character that is currently activated by spending energy cubes on the movement space here. These 3 spaces across the middle of the command post represent additional actions that the villain can perform by spending energy cubes. You might recognize these icons from the hero boards: defense, reroll, and where you buy extra moves. The maximum number of cubes you can place here is easily denoted by the spaces available. This section here is your life track. Now, most villain characters are low-life nobodies with only 1 hit point, so this track isn't for them. This track is for your more formidable characters, like Killer Croc or Joker or Poison Ivy. Characters that need more than just 1 hit to take down. Bane, for example, starts with 6 life points. Now, by now you've probably noticed this tile here. This is your event tile, and its function changes from one mission to the next. But most of the time it produces reinforcement points, which allow me to bring back previously neutralized characters. Speaking of which, if all the characters associated to one tile are neutralized, instantly flip that tile to its neutralized side and move it to the end of the river. If one of those characters manages to return, then flip the neutralized tile back to its non-neutralized side. At any point during their turn, the villain player can choose to dredge the river by removing any number of neutralized tiles from it, thus decreasing the activation cost of the other tiles. When dredging the river, the villain must permanently remove 2 energy cubes from their fatigue zone for each tile removed this way. Another option to the villain is demobilization. Demobilization can be performed once per game and allows the villain to remove 1 non-neutralized henchman or elite tile from the game. A tile's level is indicated here by these stripes. 1 stripe represents a henchman tile, and 2 stripes represents an elite tile. When demobilizing a tile, remove the tile from the river, any associated miniatures from the board, and permanently remove 2 energy cubes from the fatigue zone. The upkeep step for the villain is performed at the beginning of the villain's turn, at which point all energy cubes located in these 3 spaces are removed and placed into the fatigue zone. Since these cubes are only retrieved from these spaces at the beginning of the villain's turn, the villain player is at a bit of a disadvantage during the hero player's turn, because those unmoved cubes like so, would be taking up valuable spaces to defend and reroll dice. But once the time does come to move all your energy cubes into your fatigue zone, it's time to recharge your reserves. The number of cubes that the villain player moves each turn from their fatigue zone to their reserve zone is indicated here. Keep in mind that this recharge rate is also mission specific.